So day one, his current food is there on the left, 34.2 grams. The new food on the right is 1.8 grams. So you can see that the new food is very tiny amount. Day two on the left, 32.4 grams. On the right, 3.6 grams. And day three on the left, 30.6 grams. And on the right, new food is 5.4 grams. So even on day three, you can see that it's a very tiny amount of new food. And when you mix it very well, your cat's going to get adjusted to the new food without even realizing it. Hey friends, it's Jess and Jericho here to tell you that every single cat, all cats, are picky about food changes. All cats are finicky about food, not just your cat. Additionally, cats are very sensitive to food changes, so when you introduce new foods, you have to do so very slowly and very gradually. If your cat has a serious craving for kibble, then you will have to do an even slower transition. And also keep in mind that cats pick up on our energy, so if you're feeling frustrated and annoyed and pissed off, your cat's gonna relate to the transition very negatively. So instead, be positive, be persistent, and work with your cat. Have a lot of patience. Before you start introducing new foods, you have to have your cat eating at scheduled meal times. No more leaving out the food 24/7 all access buffet. Typically when people skip this step and just go straight into new food, the cat will eat around the new food and only eat the current food and then completely refuse to eat unless the cat parent gives in and gives the old food. But if your cat's eating his current food at scheduled meal times, your cat understands, I have to eat everything that's on this plate or I'll go starving until the next meal. So leave your cat's food down for about 30 minutes, pick it up, and then don't feed him again until the next scheduled meal time. This will teach your cat that what you put down is what he eats, and that's final. I know cats own us and not the other way around, but you're the adult, you have to be responsible, and you have to put your foot down. Think about it like this. If you had a human child that refused to eat fresh food and only wanted to eat frozen nuggets and fast food, you would have to put your foot down. So once your cat's used to eating portioned meals at scheduled mealtime, you're going to create a transition schedule, gradually mixing your cat's current food with the new food. And you're going to start with one meal and do a 20-day transition for that one meal. The remaining meals will be 100% current food until the first meal is 100% new food. So for example, Jericho eats 3 meals a day, so total would be a 60-day transition from current food to new food, working one meal at a time. You'll add an additional 5% new food and take out an additional 5% current food each day. I use a spreadsheet for this with formulas that makes it easy. So for example, day one would be 95% current food, 5% new food. Day two would be 90% current food, 10% new food, and day three would be 85% current food, 15% new food, and so on. So this will get your cat used to eating the new food very slowly. It's going to be a very tiny amount of new food, so your cat will get used to eating the new food without even realizing it. Right now I'm transitioning Jericho from ground mouse to ground quail just to offer some more variety. So day one, his current food is there on the left, 34.2 grams. The new food on the right is 1.8 grams. So you can see that the new food is very tiny amount. Day two on the left, 32.4 grams. On the right, 3.6 grams. And day three on the left, 30.6 grams. And on the right, new food is 5.4 grams. So even on day three, you can see that it's a very tiny amount of new food. And when you mix it very well, your cat's going to get adjusted to the new food without even realizing it. If you buy my Switch Your Cat to Raw ebook course, I've included this spreadsheet as well as trackers and printables to help you with the transition, but you can also use Excel or Google Sheets to make this spreadsheet on your own. But yes, Jericho's already eating raw, so of course he's gonna accept new raw. When I first went to mouse from chicken, turkey, and duck, it was raw to raw, and Jericho sniffed the mouse and walked away. So that's why I did an even slower 20-day transition so that it's a very, very tiny amount of new food and your cat won't even realize it. If your cat has a serious craving for kibble, then I'd suggest checking out the dry foods in the description below. I know it's frustrating and annoying spending money on food that your cat won't eat, but the air-dried food worked really well for my mother's 4 kibble-addicted cats. It also worked really well for clients that work with me one-on-one, and it's also worked for a lot of you that watch these videos. So I suggest those air-dried foods because it looks very similar to kibble. The texture and the appearance is the same, but the quality of the ingredients is much better. So this will get your cat used to eating better quality food without realizing it, and that'll make the transition to wet or raw much easier for you. Thanks for watching.